Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel, and welcome to this horror TV series review video, where of course we're taking a look at The Haunting of Hill House, which I have on DVD here, the entire series, 10 episodes. In this video we'll be taking a look at episodes 7 and 8, so we're getting close to the end here. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. By the way, the first 6 episodes I've reviewed and talked about, they're up on my channel if you want to check them out. But like I said, in this video, we're going to hit up episode 7, which is entitled Eulogy, and episode 8 entitled Witness Marks. So let's just start with episode 7. It is revealed that Hugh, who's the dad, often talks to Olivia, the mom that passed away when they were a lot younger, like she is still there. In fact, you see Olivia's ghost or whatever that he was talking to, of course played by Carla Gugino. He is able to make amends with Theo, who says she should have reached out to him. During the funeral, he tries to reconnect with the rest of his children. In the past, Hugh assesses the house for storm damage. Mr. Dudley assists, revealing some history of the house's previous occupants. Mr. Dudley suggests that the erratic Olivia needs to spend time away from the house, revealing why he and Mrs. Dudley never come to the house at night. Olivia's behavior becomes more disturbing. After Hugh wakes up to find a disoriented Olivia holding a screwdriver to his neck, they agree she needs to leave Hill House for a few days. So, in this episode, we're getting more of like back in the past of kind of everything leading up to the night. The night that they, most of the family other than Olivia took off from the house. Now we're kind of starting to see what happened, and I just love the way they tell this story. It's so effective, as I've said before, and I'll say again before the end of this series. But yeah, this is an episode again that goes back and forth from present to the past, and in the present, of course, it's Nell's funeral. Basically, is what we're seeing there, and we see some apparitions, if you will, of Olivia and Nell. One particular that Luke experiences out at the cemetery when Nell's casket's going into the ground. Where I think it's Nell that's coming out and trying to grab him and pull him in, or is it Olivia? I'm not really sure. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, and then in the past again, you get a lot of conversation with Mr. Dudley as it says, and you kind of figure some stuff out that takes place in the past as to why and how and what it's kind of all leading up to. That's kind of the biggest thing about these episodes. Like the first 5 episodes were about the children, the characters, and then Nell's death, and then it's kind of, you can just kind of tell that it's all building to something that's coming at the end. So that's kind of episode 7, entitled Eulogy. As far as episode 8 goes, it's entitled Witness Marks. Stephen and Hugh drive around to find Luke. So at the end of episode 7, I think Shirley's wallet was ripped off. Her credit card was taken. And Theo's Jeep was taken. And we find out in this episode that Luke was the one that took both. As he kind of had a little bit of a... Hugh talked to him towards the end of episode 7, Eulogy, and you could tell that he was kind of scattered, and he ends up stealing Shirley's credit card and Theo's Jeep. So Stephen and Hugh drive around to find Luke. Stephen believes the family's issues are due to mental illness and explains that he underwent a vasectomy to avoid passing his family's sickness on. In fact, you see a scene with him and his wife, who's kind of estranged now they're separated. Where they're at the doctor trying to figure out how to get pregnant, basically. And he's just kind of sitting there quiet, knowing all along, as you find out, that they can't get pregnant because he had a vasectomy right out of college, basically. And of course, he never tells his wife. So you can probably figure out that's why they're not really getting along and that they separated. At the funeral parlor, Shirley and Theo have an argument over Theo and Kevin in the storage room. This is another scene that took place at the end of episode 6, I believe. 2 Storms, where we see Shirley walks in seeing Theo and her husband looking like they were making out or whatever. What did I want to say about that? Yeah, Theo and Kevin, and of course, that's not what it looks like. Isn't what it seems. The family discovers that Luke is on his way to Hill House. Hugh reveals to Stephen that Stephen has been seeing ghosts all along without realizing they were ghosts, assuring him that none of them are mentally ill. He reveals that the treehouse which Stephen and Luke frequented at Hill House was not actually there, which is that's a really haunting and interesting point there, describing the Cranes as like an unfinished meal to the house. Shirley and Theo also began driving to Hill House to save Luke. As they began to argue, Nell's ghost suddenly appears, scaring them. That was a very effective part, I have to say. They're driving in this car and they're arguing more family drama over what Shirley perceived to be her sister kind of stealing her husband away, and all of a sudden this apparition of Nell just kind of comes in between them in the front seat. A very good jump scare, very effective, and definitely. I remember the first time I watched this, I certainly didn't see it coming. So that was very good. Theo breaks down, explaining that Shirley misunderstood her and Kevin. Nothing happened beyond her trying to get her ability to feel back. So the reason that, if you remember episode 6, Two Storms, Theo's basically drinking like a sailor. It's because at the end of what episode was it? The episode where Theo is at the funeral parlor and she goes and touches Nell's corpse and she doesn't feel anything. Ever since then, she's very devoid of life, if you will, devoid of emotion. And it all kind of comes out in this scene. And of course, Katie Siegel just does an amazing job with her breakdown of Theodora in this scene. And you can kind of tell that Shirley, it takes her a minute, but she kind of forgives her in her small way without saying it. Like she lends a hand to her to get up and stuff. And it's a very powerful scene. Again, this show has a lot of family dramas, much horror, but it's done very well and it's done very effectively that it makes the horror all that more effective. I can't stress that point enough to the people that think this is more of a family drama than it is any kind of horror. You're wrong. You're just wrong. You just don't get it. Anyway, with that being said, so nothing happened between them beyond her. She's just trying to get her ability to feel, because if you know the character of Theo, she wears the gloves for a reason. She has the ability to touch things or people and kind of feel what they feel and kind of see back into their past. And she wasn't able to feel anything with Theo, so that really bugged her for about 2.5 episodes there. Luke tries to burn down Hill House, only to be attacked by the ghost of Poppy Hill, William Hill's insane wife, the original couple of the house. So that's kind of how it ends, and that's also a very effective ending, as he's pouring gasoline all around Hill House. This is in the present now, and he throws a lighter at it, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't go up in flames. It goes out, and then all of a sudden he sees his mom at the top of the steps, and then behind him you see Poppy Hill. And the last scene we get is her grabbing his head like that, and a very effective scene, just a very great way to end this episode. So I probably enjoyed Witness Marks episode 8 a little bit more than 7. Not that there was anything wrong with episode 7. Both of these episodes, as I said, sort of build up now. These last, like I would say episode 6, 7, 8, and certainly I believe 9, which I haven't reviewed yet for this series, but I have seen before. They all kind of build up to what episode 10, the final episode's going to be. And it's just so well done, man. It's so well done. I can't praise the direction of Mike Flanagan enough for this show and the adaptation from the book that he took here for this story. But yeah, again, it's just all these episodes are great. I mean, it's really trying to split hairs here, but that's kind of where we're at the series here. 2 episodes left. What was I going to say? Nothing, I guess. But I just don't know how anybody can not enjoy this series. If you're any kind of a horror fan, any kind of a haunting fan that cares about characters and performances and directing. And I even feel like a lot of the horror aspects, well, not everything's perfect as far as the effects. I would say 90% of it is, as far as the like the scene in the car where the apparition of Nell comes through, and everything's very well done from a practical makeup and effects standpoint. I also like when Luke pulls up to the house towards the end of episode 8, where the house is completely dark and desolate, and all of a sudden he's standing before the house, and the house kind of knows he's there, and all of a sudden you get it lights up basically, like all these red lights throughout the windows. Oh, I just love it. I love the setting of this mansion, this hill house, if you will. So anyway, with that being said, that's my summary and review for episodes 7 and 8. Eulogy and Witness Marks. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not a subscriber already, it would really help me out for the future of my content and channel going forward. But with that being said, I hope you're enjoying The Haunting of Hill House, these individual episode reviews. We got 2 more videos. Obviously, the next one, we're going to take a look at the final 2 episodes, and I'm going to have an overall review for the entire series. Before the end of May here, we got about a week to go. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying. And as always, stay scared. Bye.